What do you want Trump to do on day one?
The first thing I want him to do is pardon every single January 6th protester. He's just going to come in and be like, I'm going to do whatever the I want because I've been given a mandate.
This is Dee. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. Well, guys, I'm back. And voila, here is your presidente. As we all know, Mr. Trump won, and a lot of people are feeling some type of way about it.
Let's start with Jesse Waters at Fox. Jesse said last night that his mom, who supported Vice President Harris, refused to invite him over to her house for Thanksgiving after the election. Watch this.
Yep, people are taking some space in the Waters household. I'll have you know that I was not invited to my mother's house for Thanksgiving. Apparently there wasn't enough room. She said it was a scheduling situation, and then at the last second invited me to come over on Black Friday. I told her no thanks, I'll be at Best Buy.
Now, this video is not about all of that. That's why I wanted to wait a little bit until all the dust died down a bit to share my thoughts from a different kind of perspective. Now, before we get into it, y'all, you know the drill. Come on now. Go ahead and, as they say, smash that like button, you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Now, let's get right into it. Because people are, of course, losing their mind in the aftermath of Mr. Trump's victory. And it just kind of trips me out because you would think that, first of all, this man won in a landslide, right? It wasn't even close. And the tripped out part is, you guys, my brother, Angelo, shout out Angelo, is from day one, Trump supporter. He's not a fair weather, black people or black men, all of a sudden this election decided to get on board. No, from jump, he was my brother's a Trump fan, a Trump supporter. And the day of the election, we were like, driving, going somewhere. And I said, well, this is going to be tight. Oh, girl, where we may win. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he said exactly what was going to happen. He's like, no way is she going to win. He's like, are you kidding? He's like, not only is he going to win, he's going to win by a landslide. It's not even going to be close. And I was like, come on now. According to the exit polls, she was ahead like 47% to 43%, blah, blah, blah. Baby. We know what happened. So now that we will be having a new president in January, I have some thoughts. Because, this is a channel, of course, dedicated to women, empowerment, self-love, self-care, hypergamy, dating up, and all that good stuff. I am a woman who is always and has always been down with the swirl. I believe that you and women giving themselves options at a better, more profitable, I'm going to say profitable, but a better existence, a higher standard of living. Now, in this election, I have to say this. I know a lot of black women really have a preference to date black men. Okay, that's normal. That's natural. Black women have always been very loyal to black men, and that's fine, I guess. Well, it's not fine given the current climate, but I digress. But if you look at this election, you guys, here we're going to another 4 years. And what strides have black men made? Again, this is not a video bashing black men. I'm just stating the facts. And all of this political upheaval and all these changes and administration, where are the black men? Where are they in all of this? You see what I mean? So regardless if Kamala or Trump won, where are they? They have made no strides. There have been no strides made by black men in any administration. You know what I mean? It's like they have not advanced. There is nothing there. None of this has occurred for the betterment of black men. Black men have not stepped up to do anything for the betterment of themselves. And so I just want to go back to the original issue as to why we have, these conversations with regards to dating outside your race, hypergamy, and all of that. If you are a Black woman who is solely dating Black men, you know the struggle and why you have gravitated to a channel like mine, Cynthia G, who I loved, and she was, and others, Ashley Dalton, you know what I mean. You've reached a point, especially if you are a woman of a certain age, you've been through some stuff. You're like, I'm tired. I am a prize. Finally, I'm beginning to see myself as a prize, and I want a good man, a man who loves me and treats me right. Okay, like Janet Jackson said in that video, he does a lot of nice things for me. Beginning of that nasty video, remember back in the day when you know. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this: the desire, the need for Black women to upgrade their lives is more necessary than ever. A lot of Black men and women are very disenchanted with the results of this election and now are in mega self-care mode. We're done. We're over it. We're finished, championing and being, again, always on the front lines of any sort of movement. We're exhausted. But that brings me to this point. Now that the dust has settled and all of these things, and we get back to our normal lives, our dating lives, would you date a Trump supporter? Would you? If you are a woman who is interested in dating men of different races, would you date a Trump supporter? And I ask that because from personal experience, I've always, my deceased husband, he was a white man, and that's always been my preference. And the crazy thing is that every man I've dated, I think for the most part, has been a Republican. However, since Trump has come into the presidential picture, all of that has changed, hasn't it? So you see, these days there is a difference between a Republican, a conservative, and a Trump supporter, right? For me, Donald Trump is the very definition of that song, The Cult of Personality. People they didn't vote for policy, they voted for Trump and, let the chips fall where they may. You have Hispanic people who have family members who are here illegally voting for Trump, somehow not putting two and two together that this directly impacts them.
They let in hundreds or thousands of people who already have criminal records. If deporting them creates a mass deportation, I'm all for it.
But what if rounded up in all of that are people who work on a farm and doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do? Does that worry you?
That wouldn't be fair. Of course, they need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family oriented.
MAGA family, I was on TikTok Live, and a fellow Trump supporter said that all he needed was my vote. I'll never be part of the MAGA family, and that I'm Black, I'll never be accepted, but he just got my vote. Nah, that's crazy. Like, I love MAGA Nation, I love the MAGA family, and that breaks my heart that someone would speak to me like that right after the election, that all I was a vote. Nah, I love all you guys, and I know most of you MAGA family members are not racist, and I love you guys, and I'll keep repping MAGA Nation, Trump 2024, but that really broke my heart that some guy would say that. Extremely heartbroken.
Now, it needs to be said that, unlike what a lot of us thought, Black men did show up and show out for Kamala. I believe 80% of those that voted for her. So we have to say that. That's just a fact. But again, you have these Black men too, and there are more of them than ever, right? So would you date somebody like this? I'm just curious. Would his viewpoint be enough to turn you off? Or would you be like, live and let live? Is this the type of man? I mean, and obviously we don't know him, but would his politics turn you off? And the things that he supports, because that's what a lot of these people don't seem to understand, is what their vote means and what they are supporting. And that is why there are so many people who are losing family members and getting divorces over this. This is bigger than just politics to a lot of people.
Heidi Briones, a lesbian Trump supporter, LOL, says, "Holy shit, my father-in-law just canceled Christmas and his own mom's funeral because he found out my wife and I voted for Trump, and he can't handle being around us. Why are people like this?" Heidi isn't alone, because there's Jane Hay, who says, "I voted for Trump. My husband didn't. My dad didn't. My daughter didn't. Now they're all being vicious. My husband wants a divorce. Honestly, after being treated the way I've been treated, I suppose it's the best next step. I don't understand how people seem to have lost their minds. I was not happy that Biden won. I was sure that the election was stolen. I didn't let it affect my relationships." Except it clearly is affecting your relationships. Hence why your husband is now asking for a divorce.
I'm a senior man with no children, but with 5 nephews and nieces. I have an estate worth approximately $2 million, which is continuing to grow. And in my will, I left my nephews and nieces equal portions of it. I found out that my 4 nephews and 1 niece have voted for Trump. I have made an appointment with my estate planner to cut them out of my will and leave the bulk of my estate to my 1 niece, God love her, who voted for Kamala. Yes, it really doesn't make a difference in this country, but it gives me a certain satisfaction that these Trump supporters won't benefit from me.
All the Hispanics supporting Trump, that's their right. But they are going to be caught up in the windfall when this immigration, when the deportation begins. It's already happening.
Now, I'm going to say, if you're in the country legally, you shouldn't feel comfortable. Absolutely not. I won't feel comfortable if I'm in the country illegally. If I'm in some other country illegally, I'm not going to be comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable either, because when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
If you are a Trump supporter and you are a MAGA supporter and you support his rhetoric, his policy, that's fine. This is not for you, obviously. But if you are a person who does not, and you are out in the dating world, and you are a person who is interested in swirling, you want to do, if you want something different, you have to do something different, and you're open to doing something different in this current climate with the men available, to you, would you date a man who was a Trump supporter, someone who voted for Trump? Now, a lot of women, as a result of this election, have said, fuck it. They threw with men entirely. They're not just decentering men. They're done with them. It's something called the 4B movement. Check it out.
I broke up with my boyfriend and he is losing his shit. It's not a game. 4B for me. He chose Trump and he taunted me about him winning. His parents are white and rich, and he called me 3 a.m. Tuesday before the election stating Trump is gonna win, like he knew something. It was sick. I guess he thought I would let it go. And by the way, the 4B movement that she mentioned is something that is spreading in the wake of the election among women. Here's what CNN has to say about it. They write, after Trump's win, some women are considering the 4B movement. In the hours and days since it became clear that Donald Trump would be reelected president of the United States, there has been a surge in the U.S. for 4B. Young liberal women across TikTok and Instagram are discussing and sharing information about the South Korean feminist movement, in which straight women refuse to marry, have children, date, or have sex with men.
You see, guys, there are women who are just done with men and their bullshit and all the, and you guys, look, you're on TikTok, you know what it is. People, and it doesn't matter. That's why when people say to you, oh, you've hit the wall and all this bullshit, with that in mind, everybody has hit the wall. That's why you can't listen to that. Go on TikTok, you listen to 19, 20, 25-year-old girls having the same experiences out there dating, right? Everybody chose the bear. Everybody. Teenage, mid-20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, okay? Everybody chose the bear. So keep that in mind when people try to down you, when the losers out here try to down you, talking about you've hit the wall, you're over the hill, blah, blah, blah. Baby, if I'm over the hill, so is your 19-year-old cousin. It's a wild world out here, guys. So what you gonna do? Ever since Mr. Trump threw his hat in the ring in 2016, the entire climate of not only the presidency, but this nation has changed. The January 6th riots, where he tried to overthrow the government, and to this day, his supporters still feel that the 2020 election was stolen from him, that he was robbed. And even now, to this election, baby, they had the National Guard ready. The National Guard ready in the event that Trump lost, they had the National Guard available ready at certain polling spots in certain cities, because his supporters were going to go crazy. Isn't that wild? And it's so funny. Like I said, the Republican Party used to be the party of the elite, right? That used to be the rich man's party, the rich, conservative, upscale people. Now it's anything but. And that's what I mean about how things have changed, and how dating a white Republican in my era is different now from dating one now. I don't know, you guys. Like I said, I've always been down with the swirl, and I will continue to be. But things have changed. The landscape has changed. And I'm going to be the first one to say that, as a person who's always been a not promoter, but very pro swirl. And I again will continue to be, because our options in the Black community are still not what they should be. Black men have not made any strides. They have done nothing to better themselves. They have done nothing to make themselves a factor in this democracy. Right? I mean, that's just the truth. I'm not lying. It's not like I'm talking bad. I'm just telling the truth. For me, at this point in time, you guys, I am very much of the mind of a decentering men. I really believe that.
Decentering men mean that you have to stop blaming them for everything. What did they do? They just drug you along and you didn't have any power. You have to do a mindset shift and take ownership of your own issues and your own problem, without focusing anything on them or about them. It's all about you and your healing and your journey to step into self-love. So we're not thinking about anybody else. We're just thinking about us. That is what decentering men or decentering anybody else is about. It's all about you. Mindset shift. All right. And so that's why I keep on promoting self-love, self-love, self-love every day.
The focus of channels like mine and others should not be on men, because that has been, well, to the detriment of many of us. Self-care, self-love, fulfilling lives should be the goal. Getting in the gym, getting a side business, going out, traveling. That's my goal. And that's why, honestly, you guys, I'm not shook by any of this, because I'm going to do my thing. And that is what I suggest for all of you. Do your thing regardless. I'm going to do my thing. And just keep in mind that I don't care who's in office. Nobody's going to take care of you better than you. And so, as we approach 2025, and, the dust settles and we're back out there, I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Are you like, what, when it comes to Black men, basically it's cheaper to keep them, right? It's cheaper, when they say they're cheaper to keep her, what is it? The devil, and you know what I mean. I'm not calling Black men the devil, but it's like people want to stay with what's familiar, I mean, what's familiar and what's comfortable, even if what's comfortable and familiar is to their detriment. Well, I'm not going to do that. But you also have to be aware that the climate has changed. And if you're dating a person of another race as a Black person, if you're dating a man of a white man, for example, you will likely come across some Trump supporters. And, there will likely be some conversations about what that means. And ultimately, that's the thing. Because, I mean, in fairness, you can support part of his politics. I mean, the thing about immigration and how it's taxing America's resources. There is some truth to that. I'm not going to lie. That is, that to me, that's real. That's relevant. I can't fault him entirely for that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people wanting better for themselves. I mean, you live in some hellhole in Mexico or somewhere in Haiti. There's nothing wrong with people wanting better for themselves and doing what it takes to get it. I mean, most of the people in this country came from immigrant families, right? Except for us, we were taken here by force, but I digress. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, when you're giving resources to people who are here illegally and people who are born and raised here can't get a link card to get food or can't get assistance with an electric bill or, paying $4 a gallon in gas for gas prices, it's like there's nothing wrong with that. And I can understand how people say it's not fair. Bottom line, take care of home. Why aren't you taking care of home first? You should take care of home first. There's something to that. So, I mean, for me, it would depend on the depth of the support, because there are a lot of things that if you're a woman and this is a man who challenges reproductive rights, who supports that, a woman's right, and I'm very much a pro-choice person. It's your right, it's your body, your choice, right? I think a lot of people are not thinking about the consequences, the fallout. It's like people want these, young women, whomever, to, have children. Okay, but what happens once they get here? That's the thing. These are the same people talking about, oh, my taxes, you're raising my taxes and welfare and these are those same people. But yet they want a 14, 15-year-old girl who don't have a pot to piss in. They want to force her to have a child that she has no means to take care of. Anyway, y'all, like I said, I don't want to get into the political thing of it, but I'm just saying. The point is, if I dated someone who felt that way, I'm very much a believer that everyone is entitled to their opinion. Yes, you are, but it's just a mindset. That's going to be kind of a deal breaker for me. It's like, it's a different climate. And a lot more thought is going to have to go into it for me, even a person who has been a lifelong swirler. That's all I'm saying. So would you date a person who was a Trump supporter? Let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know what you think of all of this fallout, all of this controversy, and how you think things are going to go when he takes office. Is it going to be a shit show? Are people going to be, dragged out in the streets, thrown in the back of trucks to be hauled off and taken back to whatever country they came from? I mean, what's it going to be like, y'all? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Does it even matter to you? Or are you going to be like me and do your thing regardless? What you should do. But we don't live in a bubble, though, y'all. I mean, this stuff in some respect is going to impact us all, even from a dating hypergamy perspective. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, thumbs it up, y'all. Thumbs it up. Turn on those notifications and subscribe. So till next time. Bye.